Welcome to the BS Show. Are you ready to shoot the... The BS Show would like to thank their sponsors. Jack Cameron, accredited mortgage professional. Jack can show you the way home. Graco Impact Sports, providing top quality combat sport equipment tested and used by all levels of athletes. Dominate your world. RepoSales.ca, specializing in vehicle and equipment recovery, liquidation, and sales. Hemmings House Pictures, the global movement media makers, helping tell your brand story to the world and accelerate the momentum of your movement. Farmbox Films, capturing stories the way you want to remember them.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BS Show. We are two. We got Skippy. Hey, Skippy, how you doing, buddy?
Wonderful, young lady. How are you?
Oh, awesome. Just came back from a good show this weekend, so I'm all jacked up to tell everybody about it. And we have our third partner in crime, Rick Doyle. He's on transit. Is that the case?
Yep. We should be getting his digits any minute now, and we'll be adding him to the show.
Awesome. We believe in you, Rick. We know you'll find your way back to us. Yeah, it was a really great show. I went up there to you guys sent me, thank you, bestest job in the whole wide world. Sent me up to Bouctouche to watch the first card that was ever in Bouctouche. So it was Stephen Williams, Cage Rage. So he's done a lot of shows. He's done them all in Moncton. So this was his first time out of Moncton. And, yeah, it was a pretty amazing show. I guess you saw some of the pictures I put up there, Skippy.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I was keeping along with you all night long with the results. It sounded like it was a great night of fights. I know you touched on it was a promoter who's done it elsewhere, but this was first in this area, so big shout-out to him for helping spread local MMA.
Absolutely, and the crowd was pretty well behaved. There's a few morons at the end, right? But for the most part, everybody did good, so hopefully, the town will be able to have another. So that's kind of the key, too. You hate to see a shit show at the end, but no, the crowd was pretty good, pretty decent, and the fights were very well matched, so that made it really nice, right? We'll actually be talking to Noah Studley. I'll probably do his name wrong. Sorry, dude. I think it was the second fight of the night. He fought a guy from Zombie Proof, Matthew Janes, and it was the fight that went to decision, and it just set the pace too. It was an amazing fight, so I can't wait to talk to him and hear how he felt about his fight. Also, we have from the main event, Luke Noel. So he's out of Campbellton. I'll have to make sure what gym because he's been to a few. I can't wait to talk to Luke because he is. Everybody knows him. If you mention Luke, everybody knows him. Not everybody likes him because he's arrogant and cocky and it's awesome and he puts on a show. So, and he won in a completely dominating dominating way. So, you got to give him some of that arrogant and cocky right there. When they can put their money where their mouth is.
That's even better.
Oh yeah, it was great to see. Yeah, and I'm gonna do like a brief little talk about the fights. I was thinking I can do that. I was gonna start with. We'll start with the first fight of the night, which was Lance Phillips versus Derek Pike. So if you're not on Facebook, you should be. And once you get on Facebook, you should definitely have the BS Show Canada on there because I posted pictures of all the fights. And, it really is the frickin' coolest job in the world because I get to walk on into the cage and, talk to the fighters and take pictures. So and the best seats in the house, too. I'll stop bragging, but... The first fight was Lance Phillips versus Derek Pike. Derek's from Ontario. Lance is, I think he was a local boy. There were some independent fighters on the card too, so a few people weren't out of the clubs. I think Lance might have been one of those independent. So Derek pretty much dominated that fight. He came out swinging hard. He took him to the ground, and it was just ground and pound. He kept him there. He kept in control of the fight, and he won it by TKO. So that was 2 minutes, 2 seconds in the first round. So it just gets the night started, right?
Oh yeah, that's how you do. That's a great way to start the night.
Oh, it is. It is. It's so good. So, like it just gets the crowd in the zone, the excitement going. And Derek Pike, probably a nice guy. I've met him a few times now, and he's definitely got the best beard, I think, in local MMA around here. So hats off to that too. I bet he's listening to us. He's a fan of the show as well. So then we had our second fight of the night, which was the one. I'm not going to talk too much about that because that's we have Noah on here tonight. So I'm going to just leave that one. Come back to that once we talk to him. And our third fight of the night was Sean Deering versus Jordan Noseworthy. I'm again probably say the names wrong. So that was quick, dude. It was a quick fight. Sean shot in for a takedown. Jordan ended up getting on top for a second and getting dominant side control, which is a bugger. And then there was just some vicious knees, and he won that 48 seconds in.
Woo!
So I know it took a minute for Sean to recover from that. I think it would have taken anybody.
I know that you if I'm not mistaken, you said it was TKO on the post. Now, was it from the knees? Was he in the clinch? Was he where did
it was from the knees? He stayed in that side control and he just threw those knees in. So
to the body. To the body. Okay.
To the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
and they just it was, dude. It was hard. It was hard to watch. It was hard to listen, right? Too even.
Oh.
Yeah, those ones are just evil. So yeah, it was a big guy too. This Jordan, big tall guy, like the big lanky legs, right? Just it was pretty ferocious. So that was the third one. The fourth fight we had was trying to go through these in an organized. Sorry?
Was it Nichols and Herbert?
It was Smith.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Liam Smith and Bryce Green. That was the fourth one. Nichols was the fifth one.
Oh, okay.
So with number 4 with Liam, he came in. He was just wired. You know what I mean? It was like the guy was moving around like he was electric shock. Like you could see either he was going to just kill this guy or he was going to just gas out by being so intense, right? But he chose to destroy the guy instead of the gassing out. So it was pretty good. It was he won that pretty quick. That one another 48 seconds in the first round. Just Liam went straight in and he did a crazy throw. It was just when you see those and you're like, it just looks like it's just a highlight reel, right? But you're watching it live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those. It was like I don't know what he's done, if he's done judo or whatever, but it sure as hell looked like it. It was really great. So.
And what gym
he took him
Liam
down.
out of?
Liam is out of Zombie Proof too. So there was 3 guys out of Zombie Proof. Matthew, where it went to decision. He was from Zombie Proof. Liam, too, they call him Slam. I don't know if they call him Slam now or if they called him Slam before. but he deserves that name, man. He deserves that name. And then Andrew Hussey was one of the big boys. That was the 7th fight. He's out of Zombie Proof, too. So the gyms are amazing. Like the talent, everybody's. Like you wouldn't think it's amateur anymore, you know?
Well, and that's Kent Peters in them, right?
I believe it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, like it it doesn't seem amateur. The level's amazing. Everyone, the conditioning, the training, everybody's so technically good, and the confidence, right? And you can hear the corner talking to them and keeping them strong, and it's just really, it's impressive to watch, especially from my seats.
So that would make the next fight was the Nichols and Hubert fight, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it was.
And that's the one. That's the one you said was a heavy ground game, right?
It was. Yeah. There's a lot of ground game on that one. So that one, Mark was. It kept on the ground for most of it, right? So he did win. Ryan Nichols won by tap out. It was the second round, so 2 minutes 52 seconds into the second round. So mostly we had Ryan on top. I think Mark got a little bit. He got some. Actually, in the beginning, Mark was fighting pretty good. Ryan got him down, and Mark was getting some good shots in from the bottom. So he landed a few nice ones, which is always nice to see, right? Because a lot of times, you see people kind of on the bottom and just go into that defensive mode, or just trying to get, trying to get a submission. But he was throwing some punches. I always love seeing that. So, but Ryan was really good. He stayed on top. He kept his weight on him, really, really kept it strong. Then there was a point in the first round, I think the judge or the referee stood him back up, but Ryan was able to take him down right away. And then the second round, Mark got top position. Ryan got out. He flipped it, reversed it right away, got on top, and he just had good body shots. And I know his corner was yelling, keep him against the cage, and he's listening, and it's always nice too when you see that, when they're really listening to their corner. And then I think he ended up choking him out. So I think he choked him out in the end of that. That's how we got that one. So that's how we got the tap, which was good. And I swear I wasn't drinking. I was paying attention. It just gets so intense in there. I love it. It's funny
because you described one of the fights the same way. You said, I don't remember which fight, but one of the fights you're like, this is a very intense fight. And it's funny because I get this visual picture of you on the corner of your chair, just gripping into the armrest, watching it,
Oh yeah, I swear it's a workout just watching it. I just get so involved, and especially when you know them, and you even not knowing them personally, but knowing them through Facebook and just seeing the training, and and even maybe knowing guys in their corner, or it's so intense, right? It's just the best sport ever. I can't fucking get enough of it. It's so awesome. But yeah, it is. It's hard to sit still. I took a girlfriend with me who's never been to an MMA show ever, and so she comes with me and gets to sit cage side, and she just loved it. I'm like, bam, I knew she would, right? So that was pretty cool to introduce someone just that way.
Oh yeah, I mean, what a great way to bring somebody to their first event cage side. I mean, it's a totally different world there than it is even in row 1, let alone if you're in row 20. Exactly. It's just awesome. So, yeah, got a wicked opportunity. All right, so let me go on to the next one would be the big boys. So I think this fight was 205. Paul Melanson versus Andrew Hussey. So originally, this was supposed to be Paul Melanson versus Bernie somebody. I can't remember his name at the moment. But anyways, I think there was an injury. Bernie Martin, I believe it is. And Bernie couldn't fight, so they got Andrew Hussey here to fight. So he is, like I said, on a zombie proof. Now, Andrew has trained, I read an article just it was a day before or 2 days before the fight. He trained, I believe, 6 months in Thailand with Muay Thai, 6 months in Brazil doing jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, this boy was prepared, right? So, this fight, not as evenly matched, I wouldn't say. Paul's got a lot of experience, mind you, and
Paul's got huge set of balls. There's no way he will say no to anything. He's just a true fighter. So it went well. It went to the second round, and Paul got some good heavy shots in. They both did. They had big heavy hands, and it looked really good. But Andrew got him on the ground, and that was just his place to be. He had a pretty good strength there, pretty good domination.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know we have had to skip over a couple of fights. We can start talking about the second fight of the night because we got Noah and Q whenever you're ready.
Excellent. Well, I think now is the perfect time because we'll talk about our last fight with our last winner too. So let's speak with Noah. Absolutely. Hello, Noah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you tell me your last name? How bad I butchered it?
It's Noah Studley.
Studley. Okay, not too bad. I could have done worse. How old are you, Noah?
I just turned 19.
Oh, awesome. Fresh. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great fight, man.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel you did?
I felt pretty good. There's definitely a couple of things I would have changed. Like I didn't throw nearly enough kicks. I didn't grapple as well as I wish I did. But my boxing definitely won me the fight, I feel.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. It was very dominant. So was that your first MMA fight?
Yep, that was my debut.
Awesome. What a way to start, man. That is great.
You.
Yeah, no, it was quite a fight. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And the match was really good. So how much did you know about your opponent?
Well, I didn't know a whole lot because I was supposed to fight another guy 2 days before, and then they changed my opponent on me.
Really?
My previous opponent injured his MCL, so he had to pull out of the fight. So
Matthew took it on 2 days' notice.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to him then too, hey?
Oh, for sure. Tons of respect for him.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing.
Hey, Noah.
And why don't you talk a little bit about your background, Noah? Because it might have been your first MMA fight, but it's definitely you're not new to the combat sports.
Okay. Well, I started out with Weichiru karate, and I've been doing that for about 14 years now. I have my second-degree black belt.
So that makes you how old when you started?
I was 5 years old. I got my first gi when I was 5.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and so I have my blue belt under Shane Rice. I've been doing that for about 4 years now. I wrestled throughout high school. I went to nationals. I competed for Team Nova Scotia. I was regional champ, went to provincials 3 times. I just started doing Muay Thai about a year ago, and I started boxing last month. So
really?
Yeah.
You had some well-known fellows in your corner there, too. So who was all there for you?
My dad was in there, Brian Studley. He was definitely a huge help for me. Kevin Tebow, the owner of Clinch Martial Arts, was there.
Right,
and
great guy.
Shane Rice. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And Shane.
Another guy.
Shane Rice,
I can't say enough about either.
Yeah, Shane Rice from Victory Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I trained with Shane myself. Amazing guy, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice team. So your father is also involved in the sport?
Yep, he has his 5th degree black belt in Weichiru, and he has his blue belt as well under Shane Rice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. So,
yeah.
what is your? Do you have a favorite? How does that work for you?
Now,
What do you love?
Right now, I find jiu-jitsu the most interesting. There's just so much to learn, and I haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Yeah, I find that it's always a challenge. It's like you almost never get ahead in jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? There's so much mental game and so many different ways to play it, and yeah, I find that it's a great sport to always be learning.
Yep. It's funny when a white belt comes in for the first time and can beat you up, but But you've been doing it for 5 years, 6 years.
And it's true. It's true. It can be as much that it's like we overthink it too, right? You get too involved in it and you overthink, and they simplify it, come on in, and put you in your place. So what's your next plan?
Well, I made a promise to my mom I wouldn't be fighting during the school year because I don't want to lose any money while I'm studying at university. So I have to wait till next September. I'm taking kinesiology up at Acadia.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. So, but you're planning on fighting again then after when Mom says it's okay?
Yeah, as long as she's happy, I guess I can do it because she's paying the bills.
Oh, dude, you're a good son. You're gonna go places. You're gonna have a few proposals after this too. That's great. Well, like I said, it was an amazing fight to watch. Just really impressive. And again, hats off to Matthew for taking that on 2 days' notice too. That's what the sport's all about, right? Yeah. Absolutely. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's a great club too, and it showed all the training. Like, it showed how hard everybody trains here. You know, fight or no fight, right? The people that really love the sport are ready to go.
Yeah.
I believe we have my co-host Rick. He's a typical guy. He's a little late. Rick, are you here? Oh, maybe not. I thought it was. All right, it's still just you and me.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, that's great, Noah, and it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight, and you make sure to keep in touch with us and keep us posted on your future fights. I can't wait to see you again. And
thank you very much for having me.
Thanks to your mom for letting you.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, you have a great night and study hard this year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Hey, Skippy, you there? Huh. Skippy? Rick? I seem to have lost all my connections with the show here. I'm not sure if I'm on air. They say they're on. Are you there, Rick? I hear something.
Hey, okay, I'm sorry. Did we lose? Oh, it looks like we lost Noah, huh?
Oh, well, I said goodbye to him, but maybe you guys weren't hearing me at the moment.
Oh, no, yeah, Rick's live with us. I was calling Rick, and I came back, and it was quiet, and I hit, Skippy, are you here? Rick's live with us right now, Rick.
All right, hey, Rick.
Oh, my God, Amy, I am so sorry, hon. I mean, we're going to have totally bareback tonight on the fly because, shit went down for me tonight big time. I mean, I finished at the gym, and then the security office called. They had an emergency, so when Skip called me, I said, man, I'm going through downtown Halifax as fast as I can. I'll get you when I get home, man. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm just sorry that you missed our first guest, but you'll have to listen to it later. So we have a few minutes before our next guest, so why don't you share with us, Rick? How was your day, buddy?
I had a day from hell, I told you that.
Let it out.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just one of those days, right? You get your work in, you get your training in, and then whatever else pops up along the way. But I had a really bad day because it looks as though my opponent pulled out of an upcoming fight. And I don't even want to go off about it right now because we'll get your guests on, and maybe we'll talk about it at the end. But it just really pissed me off, and I'll tell you about the whole story later.
Absolutely. So when were you scheduled, though?
We were looking at July 25th. July
25th. Okay. All right. Well, there's still some time, and we'll talk to some guests, and we'll we'll talk to our next guest, and we'll let you settle a little bit and get you back in the zone, and then we'll let you freak right out again at the end.
Okay, so I hear Skip. So just so I know what's going on here now, are you talking about the Elite One show and what you saw there?
I am talking about the Cage Rage show at Bouctouche and what I saw there.
Oh,
so this
okay.
Yeah, so this was not, Mike Williams is Elite, but his brother Stephen Williams is Cage Rage. So that's where I went. I went up to Bouctouche and watched the show, and it was a really good show. There was 8 fights. I went through most of them. And the main event, which we are going to talk to a certain young man who won that in quite a fascinating way. Luke Noel, are you there, Luke?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, awesome. Hi,
hey,
Luke.
How
are things?
Good, great. How are you?
I'm good. So we have an alternate phone for you. You had a little celebration that night, did you?
Oh, I may have lost my laptop and my cell phone that night.
Sounds like a great celebration for sure.
Yeah, I think the guys from Nova Scotia across the hall from me might have come in my room around 2:30 with a huge bottle of Bacardi Lemon, and I think that wasn't the best idea on Liam's part. But I've got to thank young Liam for doing that. It was quite the little gift he brought me at that time of the night. The hotel staff might not appreciate it, but we had quite the night.
Oh, excellent. Well, you deserve that. You deserve that night, actually. That was a great fight. How do you feel about that fight?
Thank you. I would have liked to finish it on the feet. Really, he was a stand-up guy, and I myself am a stand-up guy. But I knew when I shot the punches at him, he would try to wrestle with me. He actually said it in the newspaper about a month ago, that if he could not strike with me, he would try to take me down. And I knew when he tried to take me down, it would be a bad idea on his part. And I landed obviously in half on the side, and I was listening to Mike. He said, go on top. And when my elbow was there, I'm thinking now, I haven't seen the fight yet, but I know exactly what happened. I should have got up and landed some elbows instead of just holding my elbow there. It's funny you commented on that photo that the judge called it a front choke or something.
Right, which it was not.
It's not even a choke. You're right. I read that, and I'm thinking the judges got it wrong because that's not what it was. But I'm not sure what to call it myself.
I don't know either. So basically what I saw was that you had your elbow kind of on his throat, like on his neck, and you just cut off the circulation that way, true?
Yes, from the side control, I had that there to move in to full mount. And when Mike told me to go into full, and he said extend your hips, so I did that, and I seen he started to gurgle. I heard it. So I just kept it there, and then Mike said he's out. So when he said that,
I seen his eyes roll right back in his head there.
Now this I didn't see, but when his arm went limp, I knew. But I waited, of course, for the referee. But I wasn't sure still. I mean, I got up slowly even. It didn't even click in, I don't think, at first. It was very weird. It was fast. It was a little too weird. I'm not a submission guy, as you know.
Yeah, it was. That's what I loved about it, right? I was like, oh, we got to get on the show after that. So it was 1 minute 18 seconds, right, in the first round. So
yeah, it was
good. And what gym are you fighting out of right now, Luke?
I've been training with Bruno at TriStar in Campbellton, but recently, to tell you the truth, I haven't been in there that much recently.
Okay, because I never saw Bruno there, so I was wondering. But you had a lot of great guys in your corner.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of Joey, a guy come from Halifax that night. He fights Muay Thai amateur as well. He did that last summer. He does that before. John Michelle is a guy who's been doing pads. He was actually there my very first amateur fight. A lot of things as this fight were similar with my first amateur fight. I didn't get to train a whole lot, but I had the same circumstances with everything and the same promotion, Stephen Williams promoting. I had the same guys behind me. I had the same, almost everything. It just felt right. And when I fought Matt, it was a stand-up guy. I mean, I knew standing it would be mine. Everything would be mine, and it went perfect.
Yeah, it did. It was smooth, man. It was very smooth. So you mentioned to me too that you've had over 50 amateur fights.
Not amateur, 50 fights in total. I have a lot of 5 professional boxing fights. The rest are all amateur fights.
Okay, so why are you still amateur MMA?
Well, that fight on Saturday night was a professional fight.
That was okay.
We used 4-ounce gloves Saturday, and I have had a pro fight scheduled for a year now, over a year. I had one scheduled in Halifax. For some reason, they wouldn't send me a pro contract. I had a pro fight scheduled with Brad Smith, but I kept receiving an amateur contract for 3 3-minute rounds. And it said on Tapology, it said everywhere's pro, and I'm not doing any more amateur fights. Before it was, I would fight anyone, anytime, amateur, any weight. It didn't matter. And I decided I'm not doing that no more. I'm training for a guy. I'm going to fight the guy. I'm going to do it right. And I didn't want that. And amateur rules almost hinder me, especially in Moncton, because you cannot ground and pound. As soon as you get to the ground, it's made for the wrestlers and it's made for the jiu-jitsu guys. And I am neither.
Right.
So I didn't want to do amateur anymore. So really I've been focusing. Sorry.
And what happened with weigh-ins? Can you tell me about weigh-ins?
Yeah, my blood. Well, really, they told me my fight was canceled on Wednesday because I didn't have my blood work in. I did blood tests 3 weeks before the fight. I got 3 results: HB, HC, and syphilis. And I didn't get HIV, almost the most important. So obviously, you cannot fight if you don't have all your blood work in. Right. We were trying to find. I was in the outpatients last week. My doctor is a family doctor. He works at the hospital also, so he's in at the hospital daily. So it's Canada Day. I'm there all day long. Next day, I'm there all day long. Finally, Wednesday, told me your fight's canceled. We have a replacement. He's ready to go. He's gonna go. You're done. You're out. To tell you the truth, I partied. I drank. I went to Dairy Queen. I ate a big, huge meal. I woke up the next day. I went to get a big breakfast. I bloated up to 156. I have pictures of my weight, and it's just ridiculous. They tell me 4 o'clock Thursday, come to Moncton. So, of course, I come. I tell them I'm 143. Now, Friday morning, the stipulation was, come to Moncton. We will have a doctor with you Friday morning. You will wait for the blood. So we're there 8 a.m. till almost noon waiting. So I cannot cut weight. This is Friday morning. I weigh in at 4 o'clock, and I'm sitting in a hospital waiting room waiting for a doctor to check my blood. Now, I never received my blood results to this day. I'm not even sure if they came in, to tell you the truth. I've dealt with some really weird situations with Cage Rage and with Steve Williams, and this is a friend of theirs, the doctor, and he would not give me my results. He would not tell me it was okay, but I got the okay. The commission would not show me my results, but they gave me the okay, and they said, yeah, I can fight. Of course I fought. But to this moment, I've never seen my blood results be negative. I have no idea. But that was the weight. I got back to the hotel. I cut 14 pounds Friday morning. I was dead. I puked. I called Steve and I said, can we do it at 140? He said, yes. He said, I'd rather you fight than be sick in the hospital. So the fight was at 140. It was fine. And this is what really got me is I went to see Matt at Wayans. I talked to him and his coaches. I said, this is disrespectful. It's complete shit to miss weight, especially for a title fight. You're the main event. You show up, you make weight. But, I mean, you've got to understand, they told him he was fighting a new guy. I mean, he knew they canceled our fight. So it's normal. You know, I eat. If you're a fighter cutting weight and your fight's done, you're going to drink, you're going to eat. You're going to stop starving.
Fucking right, you are.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I ate. And when they told me, I did my best to get down as low as I could. And I was completely sick. I was completely drained. Friday was tough. Last week was hell, really. And I'm just glad it happened like it did. Everything went. Yeah, no, I am too. I am too.
It's nice to hear this side of you because I'm going to give you to Rick in a minute, but to be honest, you know, there's a lot of people that don't see this side of you. When you came out, you're the only one I heard anybody boo at. You might have a little bit of an arrogant side to you, would you say? Yeah, no doubt about it. And for this fight, I had met Matt
before, like the day we had agreed to fight, I met him the next day at a bar in Moncton, in Bouctouche, actually, the tavern where weigh-ins were. I shook his hand. We had no beef, no nothing. He was just an opponent. He was just a guy. He was just a man to fight for me for my pro debut. I mean, to be honest, Steven was promoting me. He wanted me to win. He wanted me to have the belt and go around and defend it. And Matt was just a body in front of me. He had one MMA fight. He lost the whole fight, taken down from start to finish. The second round, the guy comes out, takes him down again, lazy takedown, gets caught in a guillotine. Now I'm thinking, Matt is a karate guy, and he's taking the guy. He's tired. He cannot. I mean, it was just a bad matchup, and everyone knew it. Steven set him up, and that was that. I had no hard feelings towards the guy. Steven's pushing me the whole time to talk bad on Facebook, to sell tickets, to make a video, to do all these things, and I wasn't having it. I wasn't doing it. Finally, Matt had talked in a French newspaper, and now there's such thing as Google Translate. You know, you press a little translate button, you can see what he says. And I didn't like it, so I made a post. That was the extent of it. At weigh-ins, I shook his hand. I wasn't my normal self. I didn't care. I was there to fight. It was a professional fight with 4-ounce gloves. I'm a professional boxer. I box with 10 8-ounce gloves. When I hit someone with 4-ounce gloves, I knew it was going to be different. And I'm happy I just got to prove it to myself after years of saying when I do this with 4-ounce gloves, it'll be different. I got to really show it to myself, and that's what is the best. And to tell you the truth, I'm hoping I can do it again in 2 weeks in St. John.
Can't wait for it, man. Can't wait.
He's trying to get
I'm going to put you over to Rick now. He's got a few questions. He's dying. He's chomping at the bit.
Perfect.
How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you? I listened to the show once, and I heard, and I actually watched your last fight, and that was awesome.
Oh, thanks very much, and congratulations on your win. I've never had the opportunity to meet you in person, but from what you've had to say tonight, man, I can't wait to shake your hand. The fact that you came on this show with all kinds of balls and said exactly what you thought of how that was being run and how you were treated, I take my hat off to you. I understand totally where you're coming from, too, because I just had a bad experience today. Here's the things I would throw your direction. When I became a pro, the commission actually came in, and I was asked to do a series of maneuvers, basically that I could defend myself, that I could throw a punch. And once I met what they required of me, they handed me a pro card. It may be something that they look at in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind from what you've said, that you feel that you deserve to be in the pro level, and for some reason, you're having a difficult time being accepted as that. There needs to be a better way.
No doubt about it. In Moncton it was hard, but there was no commission here for years, for almost 2 years, so it was tough for anyone to get on, and there was only one Elite One show so far, and of course, there was lots of fighters. I'm not complaining. I've been trying to fight pro everywhere. I had a pro fight scheduled for Quebec, and to be honest, I'm not sure if maybe Bruno had something to do with that going under, but he was very good friends with the promoter. And on Wednesday, I was supposed to go to Baie-Comeau last summer, this same time exactly, actually, on a Wednesday. And I got a message at 12 o'clock Wednesday night saying, "We have an injury. Your opponent is now got a new opponent. We had to pull you from the card." I said, they cannot afford to have me. I said, "I'll fight for free, please. Once I get my pro fight, win or lose, you will get another pro fight. Some promoter is going to try to get you to lose on their card to an up-and-comer, or someone's going to want to promote you. You're good enough to be promoted. But it's going to be one or the other. You're a loser or you're a winner. But either way, you're flat in the sand and you're going to be in." And I just made that first step.
I understand totally where you're coming from on this, and it is a frustrating battle, I understand. One thing that I would say towards you, though, and I understand where you were coming from, but don't ever say that you'll do it for free, because we are professional fighters, and God damn it, we deserve to be paid for something. So I understand the situation you were in, but, man, go for a win bonus or something. Never, ever do it for free.
No, but the truth is, Rick, is that I fought amateur over 25 times for free. I didn't do it because I was going to get paid. A lot of people said I started boxing for money. And to tell you the truth, I was fighting before I even graduated high school. Anybody, didn't matter the age, didn't matter what kind of belt they had. I fought John Foster, my second fight, for a belt. I was in grade 11. He had a purple belt. I fought him for a title. I ran at him. When that bell rang, I ran at John, and I tried to fight him. And that is how I feel today. I will try to fight, and the money is good. The money is good, but I am. If you, Rick, I've seen your fight. I actually listened to the show a couple times, and you're a guy who's going to fight. If I walk up to you in a bar on Saturday night and I say, Rick, I want to fight you tonight, you're going to fight me whether someone's giving you $100 or $0. And that's just that. That's the truth. Amy, I think I got an amen from Amy over there.
Hell yeah, buddy.
But so listen, man, let me ask you about the commission, because I got it was secondhand today, but I got it from a good authority that the commission was poorly run for that event, that there were lots of holes in it, that they weren't telling people what was required for the medicals. The medicals were inadequate. I heard some horror stories. You seem to back that up a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing about this commission. This commission is supposed to be a new commission. 2 years ago, after a boxing event, the same guys who run the commission now didn't pay us. Their story was they were robbed at the Lions Club. Someone had come in, stole a briefcase with over $3,000. Guess what? They owed over $9,000. Brandon Brewer was there that night. He can preach on my side. That whether you're robbed $3,000, you owe so much. And the commission, by law, the commission is supposed to have the money 2 weeks before the show ever happens. Same for mixed martial arts. I still have not got paid. I talked to Matthew, my opponent, today. He's the guy, the reason the tickets were sold in Bouctouche. He's the reason. Him and his team are the reason that those other hometown fellas, they sold tickets to their town. He hasn't received a cent. I received a little less than half of what was owed to me. No gas, no food. I didn't receive nothing at weigh-ins. They set out to get it after the fight. I didn't. And Matt hasn't received a cent. The whole thing's wrong. Stephen Williams, to be honest, blocked me on Facebook. The whole thing is a big scam, and it sucks. I just come off the biggest win of my life, so I'm on a high. I'm feeling happy, but it's a mess. This whole thing is a mess, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think it's time I take legal action, to tell you the truth. It is professional, like you said. This is professional. And
I think it's fucking impressive that you're telling us about this too. Really, it does take a good set of balls. You're coming out and you telling us the truth about it too. It's great, Luke.
No, I was.
So let me just cut in here. I have heard all kinds of horror stories on what's going up there. I know that Hubert Earl from the Nova Scotia Commission was in attendance up there. I have no idea what kind of feedback he brought back with him or what he thought of it. And Hubert and I have had, many problems down the road between the two of us. But one thing I will say about him is the guy is by the book. And you know exactly what you require, and you need to know, and you will know when you need to have that submitted. And you'll also have the confidence that all the proper blood work and everything else is being done on your opponent. So it sounds like the commission up there in New Brunswick really needs to straighten up.
I think this was their second chance, to be honest. And I'm in no spot to demand a new commission. I'm a young fighter. But this was their second chance. A lot of these guys had their chance before. They were fired. New Brunswick quit. It was the Moncton at the time. They were fired from the Moncton Commission. It was then turned into a New Brunswick Commission 2 years later. Everyone here, all of us fighters, had to wait. And now it seems like the problems that they had are not solved. Now, as a fighter, I've got two choices. I can say nothing and be fucked. Excuse my language. I can be screwed, or I can say something and have a hope to have something greater in the future. But I've got to do something. This cannot continue. It will continue. If no one says nothing, it will continue. It will be the same next year. And
exactly. And this isn't a band of cronies that supposedly put together and run an underground boxing or MMA tournament. This commission is supposed to work for your provincial government. Okay? They have bylaws, they have rules, and they damn well better take it serious because the fighters do. And, it's a fight game, brother, and I feel bad what happened to you being jerked around. I've got a fight, you don't have a fight, blah, blah, blah. But it is a fight game, and that can happen. But the bottom line is
dirty game.
Someone from that commission needs to step in and tell a fighter exactly what's going to happen and work with you. You got hung out to dry.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I agree.
And it's also, there's a travesty here with the fact that there was a lot of different people trying to start the commission. There was a lot of new, fresh faces that were willing to step in and be a part of the commission. I know there was different areas of New Brunswick. There was a few different people that had set up full teams, doctors included, and trying their best to get that new start, which was basically rejected, and it's almost the same commission that was put back in.
Yeah. No, it's seriously, Amy, as you are a fighter, I didn't know until weigh-ins. I showed up at weigh-ins, and I'm looking at this commission, and it's all the same people.
All the same,
it's all the same people. I'm like, well, like all of a sudden they all changed hearts. They all changed who they are.
Right, what's new about the commission?
Exactly, and I don't it's a mess, to tell you the truth. I don't work. To tell you guys the truth, I don't work. This was my job. I agreed to $600. $600 is very cheap for main event. Tell you guys the truth, I've never made less than $1,000 in the last 3 years. I've fought boxing. I fought over 2,000. To take 600 is. I was telling Peter Martel in Halifax I would fight for free because I needed a pro fight, and I told Stephen that. So when he offered me $6, I accepted. You're giving me an opportunity to showcase my skills on a pro card, and you're giving me a title. 600 is good. 6 and 6. For him, he paid me $545, and he says, "I lost money tonight. Sorry." Well, what do you mean? We signed the contract. You signed the contract. I signed the contract. You've got to pay me, whether you lost money tonight or made money. You've only got 2 pro fighters that you've got to pay. You didn't have a full pro card. The only pro fight was the main event. You've only got to pay 2 guys, and you can't pay us? Something's wrong. Something's very wrong. This is what I've been doing for weeks. I've got nothing else right now. So, I've got no choice but to take action. I've got to do something. I didn't know I'd be on the show, but there will be legal action. I've got no choice. I need to do something about this myself, personally. Because it's happened before, and I cannot allow it again.
Brother, I'm going to get Amy here to finish up in just a second and get a chance to put your shout out to your sponsors. But thanks very much for coming on the show and being 100% honest. I don't know what's going on up there, but there definitely needs to be changes. I heard all kinds of things. So. Best of luck to you in your future, and thank you for coming on the show, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Rick. I look forward to meeting you.
Cheers.
And I would like to say about the same thing there. Thank you very much for coming on, Luke. I kind of have a full, brand new respect for you tonight, buddy. I'm really impressed at talking to you tonight, and you're open and honest, and really appreciate it. You got a few sponsors you want to shout out to before you go?
Larry's Tattoo is the only sponsor I want to give a shout out to. He's doing an awesome job out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Luke. Keep it up. Keep in touch. Hey, let me know how it goes, and I'd like to keep all the listeners in touch because you made a big impact tonight.
Yes, Amy. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, you take care, Luke.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, that was good, Rick?
Well, it's a travesty what's going on up there, and this isn't the first time I've heard this story. Now, I got it from a good authority that Ed Hoyt, obviously you heard his event got postponed or canceled, and You know, there are real strong stories that the commission just simply did not want that guy to be in business. Now, say what you want, but the stories are out there. So it looks like they've got to take a serious look at what's going on up there.
Right. It's not everything that we had hoped for, which is a shame as well, because we did have high hopes. Everybody had really high hopes, right? It was a long time. It was hard for a lot of fighters, obviously. When you're fighting and you're trying to do this and you know you have your sponsors, and that's like when you're fighting pro, it's hard to keep going when there's such a break like that. A lot of people struggled to keep going, to keep training, and then for this brand new wave and it to be not so brand new is really unfortunate.
Absolutely, and I know that in Nova Scotia, if you deal with the commission and you are not happy with the commission, you don't feel that they're doing the just thing, there is a procedure you can follow. There's a member of the Legislative Assembly that you can contact with a grievance, because they do report to a minister. So, you know, if things are going on, they're the same as anything else. You say your piece.
Right, absolutely. All right, now I hate that it's hard to switch wheels here, but we have to. We have I'm very excited to have Mike Fitz on the show tonight. I'm really, we've had a lot of problems with, well, Luke talked about his weight cut, and you know, he had a lot of logic to it, but there's a lot of problems with weight cuts, people having trouble with weight cuts. Mike, I find, is a bit of a guru under this. He is an assistant coach at Synergy Training Center. He's a blue belt under Dana Dickinson. 2 MMA fights. He's cornered over 70 fights. Weight cut experience in combat sports, powerlifting, and bodybuilding as well. So I'm really excited to get his take on this. Are you there with us, Mike?
How's it going?
Good.
Excited
Thank you so much
here.
for joining us tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to follow up that act.
It is, eh? Luke, he likes to express himself.
A lot of passion, for sure. I was actually in Luke's corner the night of the fight, me and Brandon Brewer. You know,
I think I saw you there, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Exciting night of fights.
Great night, yeah. No matter what's going on, I still get excited, you know. No matter what's going on with commission and problems like that, I just like to be there and give heart for the fighters too, because that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, you've been there. You know what they go through.
Absolutely. I hope to be there again very soon. So.
For sure.
So, talking about these weight cuts, Mike, you see the fighters and they get to weigh-ins, and their fight is called. Their fight is called right there at weigh-ins. So, what do you think? Can you give a general underlying consensus here on what is going on?
You mean as far as when guys come in and miss weight, you mean, or?
Yeah, when they're coming in overweight.
Okay. Well, I think just through the experience, a lot of times what it is that there's a misconception with guys, and they just plain old start too late. If they think that, they can go in and do a 10 or a 20 pound cut successfully and feel good in that last week, they're surely mistaken. Getting the body prepared for that, you've got to be looking at 6 weeks, 8 weeks out. Starting to get your body ready to be able to make that weight cut. So I think that's the main thing is that they're just starting way too late.
Right. So you've been doing this a while. So this is a big focus for you, right? On your team members? For sure.
Yeah. Like I've done a lot of cuts. A lot of the guys local guys that you know of, Lenny Wheeler, Adam Hunter,
right.
Matt DeRoche, Dana Dickinson, all of these guys I've done. It's been good because I've been with Dana, and Dana's really had a big hand in kind of my mentality when approaching things. If you're going to do something, do the research, do it right. And I've had a full stable of fighters. I've been able to use these guys as almost guinea pigs in a way. I've tried stuff that's working, I've tried stuff that's not working, just kind of hone the craft down. And really, when you look at it, to really kind of get behind the science of it, it's all to do with water. If you are not fully hydrated, then your body, your body's a genius. Your body will hold on to that water. It won't let it go. You hear horror stories about guys when they say they dry up, or girls say they dry up and they can't get rid of any more water. That's the body. That's the body shutting down and saying enough's enough, and there's really not much you can do. To kind of get behind what you want to do is it's a lot to do with hydrating properly, and then starting to, as you approach the scale, increasing the water, and your adrenal gland will produce aldosterone. And what that is it's just a hormone that says, get rid of this water, get rid of this water. So then as you get that peak, about 2 days out from the weigh-in, you drop your water, and then your body will just keep pushing that water out, and then you end up losing somewhere between 5% that way of your body weight, and that gets you closer to it. So generally what we'll do is to kind of take you through a whole kind of weight cut is we'll make sure we get guys generally within 5 to 7%. That's kind of the number. When you go over that 5 to 7%, now you're going to get into negating, your conditioning. You're going to start to hurt yourself. And I'm not talking like concussion-wise. I'm talking performance. You're strictly performance. Right. So you want to be within 5 to 7%. So have the guys generally on their weight class drinking anywhere from 6. Some guys in higher weight classes are up around 8 liters a day. And then you're going to really overhydrate. Yeah, so that's daily. You're drinking that daily. You're making sure you get your green.
Jesus, that's crazy. I got my 4-liter jug and I struggle with that bastard. Like that's impressive right there.
But you're not trying to force it. You're starting it evenly through the day, right? And then you want to do what you call getting your guy dialed in or getting your girl dialed in. So they're eating the same foods, they're drinking the same amount of water, and they're finished the same time of day. 1 liter of water weighs 2.2 pounds. So let's say you're approaching your 155 one day, your 155 one day, and then the next day you drink a liter less of water, you wake up in the morning, and all of a sudden you're going to be 2.2 pounds lighter because of that less liter. You're like, okay, boom, I'm losing weight, but you really are not losing weight. You just didn't drink the same value of water or the same amount of food. So you want to make sure you get your fighter eating the same things, drinking the same amount every day. So then when you see a loss on the scale, you know you're headed in the right direction. They're losing fat or they're losing a little bit of muscle. You know you're approaching. So you get them within that 5 to 7%. So we're looking at about Sunday, Monday. Now they're going to increase their water. So the water is going to go up about 2 liters, 3 liters above that. Depending if they're at 4 or 5 liters, 2 or 3 liters above that. So they're going to overhydrate. The aldosterone shoots up. The body's getting ready to piss all of this out. They're going to get ready to excrete it. And then you cut the water. Generally 24 to 26 hours from the weigh-in, the body keeps doing its work. And then you'd wake up that Friday of the weigh-ins. And a lot of guys, what we have our team do is we don't touch the sauna. We make sure we do it through Epsom salt baths, a very popular technique. When you get on, what guys and girls kind of the old school getting on and running on a treadmill, you're going to deplete glycogen storage. You're going to deplete your muscles. Then after you jump on the scales and make weight, when you try to feed yourself and retain all of that glycogen and fuel back up when you carb load, your body's so depleted it doesn't know how to handle that. Then you cramp up, you feel like garbage, and you just don't hydrate properly. So that's pretty much it. So I say when guys start late, they wake up that Friday or that Thursday and they try to cut all this weight through baths or saunas, and their body's just not ready to do it. They're just not hydrated properly.
Right, unbelievable. Yeah, you do have it to a science. I know Dana actually recommended that you come onto the show and talk about it. I know you talked a little bit there about him helping you, but I think, he's very impressed with the knowledge that you did go out and get, too, when he told you. So well done.
Yeah. Dana's a big part of where I'm at.
Yeah, the team is tight. It's nice. It's nice to see.
Sure.
I'm gonna head you over to Rick because he's got a question here as well. But before I do, I just have one thing. I just want to know your thoughts on the IV rehydration. Do you think it's being overused by fighters like the UFC?
Here's the thing, guys, fighters, girls, they're gonna do it regardless. They're gonna do it for 2 reasons. One, there's that mental edge. They feel being bigger cutting away, coming in bigger than the opponent's an advantage. And then sometimes for wrestlers and grapplers, it is an advantage to be heavier. There's going to be no stopping it. Guys are going to do it. And the science behind an IV, it is the safest way to rehydrate. I think it's dangerous taking that away.
Okay. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna hand you over to Rick. I want to thank you again. It's been awesome.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate the insight that somebody like yourself that has various backgrounds in weight loss and that type of thing, entering our sport and advising the guys, because sometimes at this level we really don't have the science to help us out.
Hey, no problem.
So when it comes to weight cutting, and I've done some pretty brutal weight cuts, I think everybody has at some point. Sometimes it comes down to whether or not you get a fight or not.
Right.
Or a last-minute fight. Now, the whole weight cut thing, as far as I know, has come from the wrestling side of mixed martial arts. So those are the guys that introduced this into our sport, to the best of my knowledge.
Correct.
So when you get into wrestling and their weight cuts, I mean, they're known for pretty dramatic weight cuts, 15, 20, 25 pounds before their fights. So these guys kind of entered the whole concept of weight cutting in. And I heard a stat that the UFC had, that there was no difference between fighters that cut more than 10 pounds versus no weight cut. Like there was no difference in the wins versus losses. So in other words, if guys cut more than 10 pounds, there was no significant statistical difference between the wins and the losses. They didn't win any more by doing a bigger weight cut, coming in bigger.
Right.
So when it comes to these weight cuts now, is there more damage to a fighter? This came from wrestlers, guys that aren't getting hit in the head. Is there any science or evidence at this point that says if you cut over a certain weight, you're going to have more brain damage than somebody that didn't? Is there any science out there yet for that?
I don't know if there's any stat. Definitely when you are getting dehydrated, the risk of brain damage does go up. Now, as far as on the performance side, I know when you cut over 7%, scientifically proven that it does affect your gas, as they call it. I mean, your endurance. Over 7%, you're going backwards.
As far as your performance goes.
Yeah, and that stat, too, I come across that, I think, a couple of weeks ago when I was reading an article, and I think it was like 52%. It was pretty much even. Guys that were bigger, like wins or so. So, yeah, I definitely think that there's an advantage to it depending on your style. I think a guy that goes out and planning on, like, kickboxing, boxing, moving around, using their footwork, I don't know if doing a huge weight cut's an advantage to him. Maybe a guy is going to want to hold the guy against the fence, take him down, grapple. I think that there is an advantage to it, right? So it depends a lot on your style. But what the problem is that some guys cut and do a big weight cut because it's going to help their style, and then the other guys are cutting weight, so they're not giving the other guy an advantage to try to negate his advantage. So some guys are almost forced to because of it. So I can see why there's an argument on both sides.
Yeah, it's kind of like the bench press competitions, and you see them all wearing the big bench press shirts, and it's like, you're all wearing it. No one has an advantage here. Just take them off and do the bench press. But, it might be one of those things that we're stuck with. Do you think that we're far away from commissions legislating the percentage of that you can lose for a weight cut? Are we getting close to that, or are they not going to touch that?
I'm not sure. I've read some of the articles when they're saying about so many days out a weigh in, and then so many days after that another weigh in. Guys are just going to cut for that. I really don't think that you're ever going to stop that mentality of guys wanting to have an edge. That's why we train. That's why we're fighters. We're always looking for an edge. If doing a couple more rounds of shadow boxing is going to give you an edge, or a couple more rounds on the mats, or training in a different kind of a gi, whatever is going to give us an edge, we're going to do it. Weight cutting, and for some styles give you an edge, I don't think you're going to find a way to stop it. Guys will always do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have a problem with it. I think it's great. Like you say, everybody has their own little things that they do that they think's going to give them an advantage. And I have no issue with people losing 20, 25 pounds of weight, unless you can tell me that that's going to do significant more damage to their brains or their overall health. I say let them go at it. Now, you said that their performance may go down, but that may be something that a fighter is willing to give up a little bit of. So I don't see a reason for a cap or a percentage on weight cuts unless anybody comes forward and says this is going to do more damage to an individual if they cut over a certain weight.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree.
Cheers.
Also, in the same breath, we've heard the things about the smaller weight cuts, right? The same day weigh-ins, where you're only a couple pounds. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think the same day weigh-ins are good. I mean, I know of guys that have cut 10 pounds before for the same day weigh-in and then just rehydrated. You're going to have, no matter what you do, guys are going to cut weight. They're going to do it right. They're going to do it wrong. I think just pushing guys towards dietitians and stuff, people that are educated to do it more properly, be safe about it is the way to go. I mean, taking away the IV, like I said, I don't think that's going to stop them from doing it. It only makes it less safe. I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
I could talk to you all night about this. This is awesome. I can hear your passion in it too.
Your next fight, just message me online. We'll hook up. I'll get you going on a plan.
You know it, buddy. Awesome. I really appreciate that too.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. You have a great night.
Excellent. You guys too. Thanks for having me on.
Take care. Hey, that was a good show. Hey?
Yeah, that was something else, and I apologize. We didn't ask him to put a link. Anybody that's interested in contacting him but anyway, we'll get that on the Facebook page anyway.
Yeah, we'll do that up.
So, two quick things I want to talk about before we finish this up. Skip, do we have time to talk a little longer?
You got as much time as you want, brother. Take it.
There we go. Let it out, Rick. Let it out, baby.
Well, first thing I wanted to talk about just briefly, because I know they touched about it and Craig talked about submission series. I went to that. I absolutely was treated like a king. I mean, thank you very much to Kat. It was an absolute pleasure for me to go to. First one I ever did. Did you get much feedback on that, Amy?
I haven't. I've heard of Kat. I haven't heard too much. So let me know how was that situation.
Well, what were your thoughts on it, Skip?
I thought the event all the way around was solid. The one thing I would have liked to have seen, if I'm going to pick something to nitpick about, I'd have liked to seen the main event go longer, because I felt like right when the time limit hit, those guys were just getting into a great rhythm rolling. So that's like, honestly, that's my only complaint. I thought the commentating was great. I thought the crowd was good. I thought the matches were excellent. You know, I thought the ladies tore it up. All the way around, man, it was a good day.
Here were my thoughts on it when I went. And like I said, I got treated with royalty when I went in there. Gave me full access to talk to any of the fighters, look backstage, go around. And I'll tell you, it was a very well-run thing on the back rooms. Very professional. I was really impressed with the setup that they had, the organization that they had with the fighters. One thing I was surprised about, and I kind of went around, at first I didn't want to talk to anybody because I don't know what kind of headspace they're in, but one thing, I had never been in a back room for a BJJ competition, very relaxed. Unlike an MMA locker room that's very tense and aggressive and you know, you can cut it with a knife in there. Guys were all chill, laid back, talking, laughing. So it was just like they were about to just go roll, you know. It was that kind of atmosphere.
That's cool. So it's a whole different vibe, eh?
Yeah, it is. Like when I first walked in, John Foster was there at the front door with hospitality, pushing that. That was really cool. And then I went around the back rooms a little bit. As far as the event goes, I think that I don't think they got the general public. I don't think so. I think they got there was a lot of gym support. Saw a lot of guys, Fit Plus, Forza, every gym. I saw the colors they were represented. I think there was a lot of their close friends that were in attendance, and or family, a lot of family there as well. So one thing I think we need to concentrate next time is getting a little more of the general public in. The audience was very smart. They were very quiet, watching intently, and then would hit the roof when they saw that they liked. So that was cool. Now, there was a huge back screen, and I'm sure that they had planned on projecting what was going on the mats up on the screen, but there might have been a technical difficulty. So people in the back of the room probably couldn't see much what was going on the stage. And the only other thing that I think, which was fine for the crowd that they had, there were huge gaps in between the matches, sometimes up to 5 minutes. And when you want to attract the general public, you got to do something. Bagpipers, dancing monkeys, something. There needs to be something going on during that time. So that's something they got to work on. But one thing I love that they did do was that they had nice background promos on all the fighters before they came up. And that really kind of let you know who they were and, what they were all about. And that was cool. That was one of my outstanding things that they did. I loved it.
Very nice, man. That's I'm a little jealous now. I never made it there. Sounds good.
It's a good experience. But listen, if we got a minute, I'm going to tell you about what went down with me with my fight.
I was just going to ask for that.
Yeah, because it was a rough go. So I'm going to tell you what I've gone through on this one, and this is just all part of the fight game. It's a very emotional thing, and but I got asked to do, as a fighter, as you know, you want to shop around, see where your next fight is, where the best is, that type of thing. And
yes.
I'm a little different than some other fighters because they may have other things that they're trying to do, like build a career or just make the win column look nice, or they want to make the UFC. Everybody's got their own motivation.
Right.
For me, to be honest, like we heard earlier, I do it for money. I mean, if I could make money baking pies, man, I'd do it. But I can't bake pies, so basically, I got offered a boxing fight. Okay, and TSM was going to cover it. And this got talked, for weeks. This has got talked about. And I got asked if I wanted to fight Jamie Marshall. And him and I had a little history before. And, he's a big dude, all jacked up, pretty boy. I think he's soft, to be honest. And he wanted to fight me. And I said, well, I don't box, but I'll come in and fight you. So I got offered $1,000 from the company, right, to fight. So I talked to my coach, and I said, well, what do you think, Coach? And he said, well, to be honest, they think he's going to knock you out in the first round. And I know he was running his mouth that he could do that. I know that for a fact. So I said, well, what do you think? And he said, well, I think if you survive the first round, you got a real good shot at winning it. So he said, let's go back, and we'll go for 1-1 or 1,500 because they want this fight. So we went back, and we figured they would take the 1-1. If you think he's going to knock me out, then what's no loss to you? So anyway, no was the immediate answer. And then this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally I got the call and said, we will take that offer. So, of course, at that point I got, 3.5 weeks to get ready. Well, yeah, okay, that's a pretty good payday for me. I'm still going to do it. And I even agreed to his weight, for Christ's sake, which is my walk-around weight. So you know how much bigger he is than me. So anyway, now we're, 2 weeks out, and he canceled on me. So there you go. As far as I'm concerned, he's ducking me. And I think it's, you rip me off out of a payday, you pussy, and that's the way I'm looking at it. Unless you got an injury, you're running your mouth, and now when it's time to step to the plate, you took it to the last minute, right? You took it to the last minute because you knew I wouldn't train unless I had a fight, and then you walked away. Shame on you is what I say. Prove me wrong. So that's why
I like to hear that out in public too. Attaboy.
That's the fight business, right? That's what it's all about. But still, when you're in the emotional trenches, you know, that's the way you feel.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's there's too much work, there's too much effort, there's too much put on a person for other people to back out, and that's the thing with this. It's even if it's supposed weight cuts, like I wonder if sometimes those weight cuts aren't legitimate, right? Like the people that can't make the weight, and you know, I'm not talking about every time, but just excuses. We don't need that in this sport. It's hard enough. If you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. If you're a professional, then you act like a professional. That's what and that's the bottom line. And that goes on, goes for commissions, that goes for promoters, and that damn well goes for fighters. You want to be a professional.
Rick, I got to ask you, with this, getting pumped up, getting into camp to take this fight, and now it falling through, are there any other options? Are we going to see you fight anywhere else here in the near future? Did you have to turn something down? Is it going to be a while? What's the deal on seeing you fight again?
Well, for me personally, Skip, I mean, it's a matter of dollars and cents. Okay, like I say, $1,000 put a new set of tires on my car, and that's why I was going to fight. To be honest, there's no other way that I can make that money in that period of time, as long as I can maintain a certain level of work outside and work around. Now, when I got the call for this fight, I already had a week's work scheduled, so there was no training. That wasn't possible. So it came down to I'm not going to train this week, but I can get 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, can I be ready to fight? Well, no, probably I can't. But could I be ready enough to put on a show to earn that $1,000? And, I left that to my coach. Will I have a respectable showing? Don't tell me if I'm going to win or if I'm going to lose. Will I have a respectable showing? And, he said yes. So, it's a go. Let's go make our money and put on our show. So if another offer comes to me, I'm going to weigh it just like I do everything else involved with my life and make a decision.
Cool. I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting old, man. The only thing older than me right now is dirt, and I feel it every day. But then again,
old people fucking rule. I'm old too, and I'm fighting again. It's all good.
Yeah.
Rick Doyle and Shamrock. That's what we need to see.
Oh, yeah. Well, chin up, Rick. You're a good guy, and good things happen to good people, and it's just chin up, buddy. I know it sucks right now, right? Like it's part of the game, but it never gets easier.
Oh, yeah. And it's a thing that everybody goes through. It's just you've got me on live radio, and I'm going off. Everybody else is just doing it in their home. No one listens, but...
And that's the thing, though. You're there to support everybody, and to people can understand. They can embrace you and understand how you feel. You're supporting the team, buddy.
You can embrace me later.
Cheered you right up, huh?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anyway, thanks a lot for the show tonight, guys. I appreciate
Good show.
it. I think we had some great shit to talk about, to be honest.
Hells yeah! I want to thank the guests again, man. That was really awesome. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Noah. You did good, and thanks for showing up, Rick.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Any last comments,
Skippy? Yeah, just Skippy to sign us out.
Hey, that's enough BS show for this week.
I'm not even going to say mine tonight.
Welcome to the
I was waiting, Rick.
Are you ready to shoot
Bam!
The BS show?
I let you hang,
their
brother.
Sponsors.
Have a good night, Rick.
Jack Cameron, accredited mortgage professional. Jack can show you the way home. Draco Impact Sports, providing top-quality combat sport equipment tested and used by all levels of athletes. Dominate your world. reposales.ca, specializing in vehicle and equipment recovery, liquidation, and sales. Hemmings House Pictures, the global movement media makers, helping tell your brand story to the world and accelerate the momentum of your movement. Farm Box Films, capturing stories the way you want to remember them. Welcome to the BS Show. Are you ready to shoot the... The BS Show would like to thank their sponsors. Jack Cameron, accredited mortgage professional. Jack can show you the way home. Draco Impact Sports, providing top quality combat sport equipment tested and used by all levels of athletes. Dominate your world. Reposales.ca, specializing in vehicle and equipment recovery, liquidation, and sales. Hemmings House Pictures, the global movement media makers, helping tell your brand story to the world and accelerate the momentum of your movement. Farm Box Films, capturing stories the way you want to remember them.
Bye. 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 Bye.